Have you ever said something to your adult children only to lie awake at night wishing you could take those words back? As a family therapist working with seniors for over 30 years, I've seen how certain seemingly innocent phrases can silently destroy parent-child relationships. Just ask Margaret, a 75-year-old retired teacher who couldn't understand why her weekly family dinners turned into monthly phone calls. The truth? It wasn't her intentions that pushed her children away. It was her words. Today, I'll reveal 5 devastating phrases that could be quietly damaging your family bonds. More importantly, I'll share proven ways to rebuild those precious connections, no matter your age. These insights have helped thousands of parents in their 60s, 70s, and beyond restore warmth and trust with their children. Before we begin, I'd love to know what city you're watching from. Drop it in the comments below. And if you want more wisdom on strengthening family bonds in your golden years, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Now, let's start with the most surprising phrase that could be pushing your children away. 1. These harsh words are for your own good. There's an old saying that has proven true time and time again. Sharp words leave scars that sweet words can't heal. As a family therapist, I've seen this wisdom play out countless times in relationships between parents in their golden years and their adult children. Let me share Elizabeth Cooper's story. At 68, Elizabeth thought she was doing the right thing by being brutally honest with her son Michael about his career choices. "I believed tough love was the best way to guide him," she told me, her voice heavy with regret. "Every time he mentioned changing jobs, I'd tell him he was making a terrible mistake. I thought I was protecting him, but all I did was push him away." Dr. Sarah Thompson, a leading family psychologist specializing in senior parent-child relationships, explains why such tough love can be so damaging. When parents in their 60s and beyond use harsh criticism, they're not just commenting on their adult children's choices. They're undermining decades of trust. The parent may think they're helping, but the adult child feels judged and disrespected. The impact of harsh words becomes even more pronounced in today's world of long-distance relationships. When families live apart, there are fewer opportunities for warm, in-person interactions to soften the blow of critical comments. A harsh phone call or text message can echo for weeks or months before there's a chance to repair the damage. Watch for the subtle signs that your words might be creating distance. Notice if your children become defensive during conversations, if their calls become shorter, or if they share less about their lives. These are often the first indicators that your well-intended tough love is building walls instead of bridges. The good news? It's never too late to change how we communicate. Elizabeth learned this through her journey of rebuilding trust with Michael. Instead of saying, "You're making a huge mistake," she learned to say, "I care about you and I'm here to listen." Rather than immediately offering criticism, she began asking questions like, "What excites you about this opportunity?" Or, "How can I support you?" The transformation wasn't immediate, but it was profound. The first time I responded with understanding instead of criticism, I could hear the surprise in Michael's voice, Elizabeth shares. Over time, he started calling more often, sharing more about his life. Last month, he even asked for my advice about a job offer, something he hadn't done in years. For those of us blessed with years of life experience, it's natural to want to protect our children from mistakes. But remember, our adult children need our support more than our criticism, our understanding more than our judgment. Before speaking, pause and ask yourself, will these words build a bridge or a wall? If you're watching this and recognizing yourself in Elizabeth's story, you're not alone. Many parents in their 60s, 70s, and beyond are learning to adjust their communication style. What harsh words have you regretted saying to your children? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might help another parent avoid the same mistake. Remember, every conversation is a new opportunity to strengthen your family bonds. We'll explore more relationship-saving insights in our next section. But first, if you're finding these tips helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more wisdom on nurturing family connections in your golden years. 2. I don't need your help, I have money. There's a timeless piece of wisdom that resonates deeply in family relationships. Pride builds walls, but humility builds bridges. As we age, maintaining our independence becomes increasingly important. But sometimes this desire for self-reliance can unintentionally push away the very people who mean the most to us. Meet Richard Wilson, a retired engineer from Boston. At 75, Richard had built a comfortable life and set aside a healthy retirement fund. I thought having money meant I didn't need anyone's help, he shares. When my daughter Sarah offered to drive me to doctor's appointments or help with house maintenance, I'd proudly tell her, I don't need your help. I can pay for everything myself. What Richard didn't realize was that each refusal placed another brick in an invisible wall between him and his daughter. Dr. James Miller, a leading gerontologist specializing in senior family dynamics, explains why this mindset can be so damaging. Many seniors in their 70s and 80s equate accepting help with losing independence. What they don't realize is that allowing their children to assist isn't about need, it's about nurturing connection. When we repeatedly reject help, we're actually rejecting opportunities for meaningful interaction. Technology has made it easier than ever to maintain independence in our later years. We can order groceries online, arrange ride services, and hire help for every household task. But as Richard discovered, convenience doesn't equal connection. I had apps for everything, he admits, but I was spending more and more time alone. My daughter stopped offering help, and our conversations became shorter and more superficial. The turning point came when Richard fell in his kitchen. Though not seriously hurt, he lay there for an hour before his cleaning service found him. When Sarah found out, she was devastated, he recalls. She said, "Dad, I could have been checking on you all this time, but you kept pushing me away." That's when I realized my pride was costing me more than money could ever buy. If you're over 65, watch for signs that your independence might be isolating you. Are your children offering help less frequently? Do family visits feel more obligatory than warm? These could be signals that your well-intended self-reliance is creating emotional distance. The solution isn't to become dependent, but to find balance. Instead of saying, "I can manage everything myself," try, "I appreciate your offer. Maybe we could do this together?" When Richard started accepting small helps, having Sarah join him for grocery shopping or tackle minor home repairs together, their relationship began to heal. Now I understand, Richard reflects, that letting my daughter help isn't about my capability or my finances. It's about giving her the chance to show love and creating moments we'll both cherish. Money can buy services, but it can't buy the warmth of family connection. If you're watching this and recognizing yourself in Richard's story, you're not alone. Many seniors struggle with this balance. Share in the comments below. How do you maintain your independence while keeping close family bonds? Your experience might help others find this delicate balance. Remember, true wealth isn't measured in bank accounts, but in the strength of our family connections. Stay tuned for our next section, but first, if these insights are helping you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more wisdom on nurturing family relationships in your golden years. 3. Why can't you be more like your sister, brother? There's a profound truth our grandparents often shared. Comparison is the thief of joy and family harmony. Yet as parents in our golden years, we sometimes forget this wisdom when talking to our adult children, not realizing how deeply our comparisons can wound family relationships. Consider the Johnson family's story. Patricia Johnson, a 73-year-old retired nurse from Chicago, couldn't understand why her family gatherings had become increasingly tense and sparse. Her daughter Amy, a schoolteacher, stopped coming to Sunday dinners. Her son David, a successful accountant, made excuses to leave early when he did attend. The root cause? Patricia's habit of comparing her children even well into their adult lives. "I thought I was motivating them," Patricia confides. "I'd say things like, 'Your sister always makes time to call' to David, or 'Look how well your brother manages his finances' to Amy. I didn't realize I was actually driving them apart and away from me." Dr. Rebecca Martinez, a family psychologist specializing in adult sibling relationships, explains why such comparisons are particularly harmful after children grow up. When parents in their 60s and beyond continue comparing their adult children, they're not just creating rivalry, they're invalidating their children's life choices and unique paths. This pain cuts deeper because adult children expect their elderly parents to finally see and accept them for who they are. In today's world of social media, these comparisons become even more problematic. When parents comment on siblings' Facebook posts or Instagram stories with comparisons, the hurt becomes public, amplifying the damage. "My mom would comment on my brother's vacation photos, saying she wished I traveled more like him," Amy shares. "Those public comparisons made me feel humiliated and judged." The warning signs of comparison damage are often subtle but significant. Watch for siblings who avoid being together at family events, increased competitive behavior, or children who share less about their lives. These could indicate that your comparisons are creating emotional barriers. But there's hope for healing these wounds. Instead of saying, "Your brother always calls," try, "I love hearing about what's happening in your life." Rather than comparing achievements, celebrate each child's unique journey. Patricia learned to replace comparison with appreciation, telling each child specifically what she admired about them individually. The transformation in the Johnson family was remarkable. When Patricia started acknowledging her children's different paths and strengths, the tension began to fade. "Last Thanksgiving was different," she shares with tears of joy. "For the first time in years, both my children stayed for dessert. Amy even suggested we make it a weekly tradition again." If you're watching this and recognizing yourself in Patricia's story, you're not alone. Many parents over 65 struggle with this habit of comparison. Share in the comments below. How do you celebrate your children's different paths? Your insights might help another parent heal their family bonds. Remember, it's never too late to change. Every conversation is a new opportunity to build bridges through acceptance and understanding. If these insights are touching your heart, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more wisdom on strengthening family connections in your senior years. Stay tuned for our next section on another common phrase that might be damaging your family relationships. 4. Remember when you failed at? An ancient wisdom reminds us, yesterday's mistakes shouldn't overshadow tomorrow's potential. Yet for many of us in our senior years, the urge to protect our adult children by reminding them of past mistakes can be overwhelming. What we don't realize is how these well-intentioned reminders can cast long shadows over our family relationships. Meet Robert Davis, a 71-year-old retired high school principal from Denver. His son Michael had struggled with several business ventures in his younger years, and Robert couldn't help bringing up these past failures whenever Michael mentioned new opportunities. "I thought I was helping him avoid future mistakes," Robert shares. "Every time he'd tell me about a new business idea, I'd say, 'Remember when you failed at your first startup?' I believed I was teaching him caution, but instead, I was teaching him to stop sharing his dreams with me." Dr. Lisa Anderson, a trauma specialist focusing on family dynamics among seniors, explains why dwelling on past failures is particularly harmful. When parents in their 60s and 70s repeatedly bring up their adult children's past mistakes, they're not just recalling history, They're reinforcing a narrative of failure that can paralyze their children's future growth. In today's digital age, where past mistakes are often permanently documented online, parents need to be especially mindful of not adding to this burden. The signs of damage are often subtle but significant. Your adult children might change the subject when discussing new ventures, become defensive about their current choices, or stop sharing their aspirations altogether. These behaviors often indicate that your references to past failures are creating an environment of doubt rather than support. In Robert's case, the wake-up call came during a family dinner. Michael was talking to his sister about a promising new business opportunity, but when he saw me listening, he immediately stopped talking. That's when I realized my son was more afraid of my criticism than of failure itself. The turning point came when Robert learned to shift his focus from past failures to present possibilities. Instead of saying, "This reminds me of when you failed," he began saying, "I'm excited to see what you're doing now." Rather than warning about past mistakes, he started asking questions about current plans and offering encouragement. The change in our relationship was remarkable, Robert reflects. When I stopped being the keeper of his failures and became a supporter of his future, Michael started calling me for advice again. Last month, he even asked me to be on the advisory board of his new company, something I never thought would happen. If you're over 65 and find yourself frequently referencing your children's past mistakes, ask yourself, am I protecting them or am I holding them back? Share in the comments below. How do you balance sharing your wisdom without dwelling on past failures? Your experience might help other parents learn to look forward instead of backward. Remember, every day offers a new opportunity to change the narrative. Instead of being the parent who remembers every failure, become the parent who believes in every possibility. If these insights are helping you build stronger family bonds, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more wisdom on nurturing relationships in your golden years. Stay tuned for our final section, but first, let me know in the comments. What past memories do you wish you could stop bringing up with your children? 5. I'm telling everyone about your financial situation. There's a timeless piece of wisdom that rings especially true in family relationships. Trust is earned in drops, but lost in buckets. Nowhere is this more evident than when we, as senior parents, handle our adult children's private financial matters. Today's story shows how one moment of oversharing can damage years of carefully built trust. Meet Barbara Miller, a 69-year-old retired teacher from Portland. Like many proud parents, she loved sharing updates about her children at her weekly bridge club. When her son John faced financial difficulties during divorce, Barbara thought nothing of discussing it with her friends. "I was just concerned," she explains, her voice filled with regret. "I didn't realize that by sharing John's financial struggles, I was betraying his trust and making his situation even more difficult." Mark Thompson, a financial advisor specializing in family wealth dynamics, explains why financial privacy is crucial in parent-adult-child relationships. When seniors breach their children's financial privacy, they're not just sharing information, they're violating boundaries that are essential for maintaining adult relationships. In today's interconnected world, where financial news can spread rapidly through social media and community networks, maintaining confidentiality is more important than ever. The impact of such breaches often surfaces in subtle ways. Your children might become hesitant to share financial updates, change the subject when money matters arise, or exclude you from important financial decisions. Barbara noticed these changes when John stopped mentioning anything about his finances and seemed uncomfortable when she asked about his new business ventures. The worst part wasn't just losing John's trust, Barbara shares. It was realizing that my actions had pushed him away during a time when he needed support most. He told me later that he felt humiliated knowing that my bridge club knew about his divorce settlement and business struggles. In today's world of social media and instant communication, the temptation to share can be overwhelming. Many parents in their 60s and 70s don't realize that posting about their children's financial situations on Facebook or discussing them in community groups can have lasting consequences. What seems like innocent concern can quickly become harmful gossip. The path to rebuilding trust starts with changing how we communicate. Instead of asking, "Did you hear about John's money troubles?" Try saying, "I respect your privacy, and I'm here if you want to talk." Rather than sharing financial updates with friends, maintain strict confidentiality unless given explicit permission to share. Barbara's story has a hopeful ending. She learned to become a vault of trust rather than a source of information. Now when friends ask about John's finances, I simply say, "He's doing well. Thank you." The pride I feel in protecting his privacy far outweighs any momentary satisfaction from sharing updates. If you're watching this and recognizing yourself in Barbara's story, you're not alone. Many parents struggle with knowing when to share and when to stay silent. Share in the comments below. How do you balance your natural desire to discuss your children's lives while respecting their privacy? Remember, being trusted with sensitive information is a privilege, not a right. Your discretion today builds the foundation for deeper trust tomorrow. If these insights are helping you navigate family relationships better, please like this video and subscribe for more wisdom on strengthening family bonds in your golden years. As we've seen through these powerful stories, the words we choose as senior parents carry more weight than we often realize. Each of these 5 phrases, harsh criticism, rejecting help, making comparisons, dwelling on past failures, and breaching privacy, can silently damage the precious relationships we've built with our adult children. But here's the beautiful truth. It's never too late to change. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, every conversation is a fresh opportunity to strengthen your family bonds. Small changes in how we communicate today can create stronger, more loving relationships tomorrow. If you found wisdom in these stories, please share this video with other parents in their golden years. What phrases have you learned to avoid? Share your journey in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on nurturing the family connections that make life's golden years truly precious. Remember, the greatest gift we can give our children isn't our advice or protection. It's our understanding and unconditional love.